Hi, this is Hot Chocolate with Paul with a cruise up the Rhine River from Basel, Switzerland to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. After flying to Zurich, Switzerland, we made stops in Strasbourg, France, and the German towns and cities of Speyer, Heidelberg, Mainz, Rüdesheim, a scenic cruise through the Rhine Gorge where all the castles are, Koblenz, Cologne, and finally in Amsterdam, Holland. I did this cruise on the Avalon Felicity from July 7 through 14, 2013 with my first wife, Mary. This was a very special cruise to me because it was the first time I ever went to Europe, and at the age of 52, I have been looking forward to it for all of my life. After leaving our home in Rochester, we flew to Newark, New Jersey to transfer planes for the flight to Zurich, Switzerland. It was an overnight flight and neither one of us slept very well. We ate, played some games, and watched some TV. In the morning, this was my first view ever of the continent of Europe as we approached the coast of France. As we approached the airport in Zurich, Switzerland, the views of the mountains were spectacular. If I'm pronouncing it correctly, we stayed at the Movenpick Hotel in Zurich for one night. We were pretty tired, so we did take a nap, and then we did some walking around the area. I couldn't help but notice the signs they had for the tattoos that were to be held. Definitely my kind of music. We took a tram to downtown Zurich. There was some kind of a festival going on. The next day in the hotel, we met with the group of people that we were going to be sailing with. They had an introductory meeting for us and then transferred us to the ship. Along the way, we got to see the beautiful countryside in Switzerland. The boat we were to sail on was from Avalon Waterways, and it was called the Avalon Felicity. It was built in 2010, so in 2013 it was only 3 years old. They actually parked these riverboats side by side, so we had to walk through 2 ships to get to ours. Once we got onto the Avalon Felicity, we took our tour. The cabin was quite similar to what we would get on a normal cruise ship. A standout feature for Avalon Waterways is the sliding glass door. There isn't an actual balcony out there, but there's a railing so you can open the door and leave it open and feel like you have a balcony. It seems pretty simplistic, but I actually liked it quite a bit. It sails the waterways between Amsterdam and Basel along the Rhine River. It's 361 feet in length and carries 138 passengers. It's a setting that is intimate but yet very spacious and offers all the amenities that modern river cruisers have come to expect. There's a total of 65 staterooms and 4 suites. And the last I checked, The Felicity is still sailing along the Rhine River. There's one dining room, and everyone eats together at the same time every day. I like the small casual lounge in the back of the ship. It has coffee, snacks, and games. And yes, there is a safety drill, although if something happens to this boat, you're on a river so you don't have to go very far to shore. We had our first introductory meeting at the large multi-purpose room with the cruise director and the captain. They introduced us to the rest of the crew. Not long after we left port, we had to go through multiple locks. The first ones were while we were having dinner. Sailing along the Rhine River into the evening. The next morning we arrived in Strasbourg, France. Docking a riverboat like this goes fairly quickly compared to cruise ships. We had some visitors outside of our cabin. Once we got off the boat, I had my first good view of the Avalon Felicity. We did some walking around and then took a river tour of Strasbourg. Strasbourg is the capital city of the Grand Est region in northeastern France. It's also the formal seat of the European Parliament and sits near the German border with culture and architecture blending German and French influences. Its Gothic Cathedral Notre Dame features daily shows from its astronomical clock and sweeping views of the Rhine River from partway up its 142-meter spire. Strasbourg has been a part of both Germany and France at various times. After getting off the tour boat, we continued with a walking tour. Back on the Felicity, we had lunch, and I certainly enjoyed the hot tub. I had a drum pad and sticks with me so I could practice some drumming. All decked out for dinner. They had entertainment on the boat in the evening. The next morning we arrived in Speyer, Germany. Since my dad came to the United States from Germany in the mid-1950s, Germany was a place that I had heard about all of my life, and I always looked forward to going there someday to visit my dad's homeland. I always pictured that setting foot in Germany for the first time would be an emotional moment for me. So after we docked in Speyer, Germany, Mary wanted to sleep in a little bit, and I decided to get off the boat and walk around. So I walked up the gangplank, took a few steps out, and then suddenly realized what I had just done. I turned around and thought to myself, I just set foot in Germany for the first time in my life, at the age of 52. It was an anticlimactic moment. I turned around and took these few pictures. After Mary got up, we had breakfast. We had an option of taking an excursion by bus, but since everything we wanted to see was close by, we decided to walk around instead. Speyer is an important regional retail center and tourism is its leading industry. The city contains electrotechnical industries and an oil refinery. Manufacturers include metal, machinery, ships, aircraft, textiles, and chemicals. It's a medieval city that's surrounded by modern industrial and residential areas. The cathedral has been here for 1,000 years. It ranks as the largest preserved Romanesque church in Europe. We took a tour of the Technik Museum. I've never flown in a Boeing 747, but this was an opportunity to walk through one since it was a museum exhibit. Our next stop was near Heidelberg, where we took a bus tour. The Heidelberg Castle ruins are among the most important Renaissance structures north of the Alps. The castle has only been partially rebuilt since its demolition in the 17th and 18th centuries. It is located 260 feet up a hillside and therefore dominates the view of the old downtown. Heidelberg is considered one of the most beautiful cities in Germany. It's a city of science. It's home to Germany's oldest university as well as to numerous others and a host of internationally renowned research institutes and research-based companies. About 11.9 million visitors come from all over the world to visit the city each year. While we were on the bus tour to Heidelberg, the Felicity moved on to the next dock, which is where we joined it again. Our next stop after that was Mainz, Germany, where they had a fake beach built alongside the dock. We were able to get off for the evening, stay docked overnight. We got off again the next morning to walk around and do some sightseeing. The remains of this church were left as they were at the end of World War II as a reminder to what happens during war. Back on the boat, we continued on to Rüdesheim. We passed by some very picturesque towns. After docking by Rüdesheim, we took a tram up to the historic village. One place we visited was Siegfried's, where they have mechanical music cabinets. We had wine and cheese in the Schloss garden. We got a surprise treat. There were some singers from the Quincy Choral Society of Massachusetts on the cruise with us, and they did a performance at the Schloss Garden. We took what was basically a ski lift ride up a hill so we could see the vineyards. Up at the top of the hill, we had an incredible view. This is a picture that Mary took, and she's very proud of it. Back in the village, we walked around some more. Another dinner on the Felicity. They often had local entertainers come on board to give us a live performance. After dark, I went back out again to see Rüdesheim by night. The next morning was an especially beautiful day as we cruised for 4 hours through the most scenic part of the Rhine River Gorge and reviewed many of the castles along the way. It was the chilliest morning of the entire week, so they fed us some hot chocolate. At some point, I realized it would be just as enjoyable for me to appreciate the view right from the hot tub. Next, we docked in Koblenz. It lies at the junction of the Rhine and Mosel rivers. Koblenz has long been a major commercial center and is also an important military post and administrative center. Its diverse industries include the manufacture of aluminum products, data processing equipment, screws, shock absorbers, brakes, and paper products, and the brewing of beer. Printing is also important. We walked around and took a cable car up to the top of the hill. There's a magnificent view from the top of the hill. We arrived in Cologne after we felt we were already settled for the evening, and when it sounded like we were docking, we opened the curtains and saw this magnificent view of the cathedral. We walked around a little bit, and then got up the next morning to walk around some more. I had some relatives who came in to visit us in Cologne. We gave them a tour of the Felicity and then walked around the village. Cologne is a 2,000-year-old city spanning the Rhine River in western Germany. It's the region's cultural hub. Our time together was short, so it was bittersweet. One rather exciting moment during our cruise was when we met up with another Avalon boat so that the two boats could exchange crew members. Since we were so close, we were actually able to reach out and shake hands with passengers on the other boat. Our final destination on this cruise was Amsterdam. Amsterdam is the Netherlands capital, known for its artistic heritage, elaborate canal system, and narrow houses with gabled facades, legacies of the city's 17th century golden age. We spent one night on the boat in Amsterdam and then checked into a hotel for 2 more nights before we flew home. The Quincy Choral Society that was traveling with us was scheduled to do a performance at the Old Church in the heart of Amsterdam. I took a bike ride through Amsterdam. It was a wonderful trip for us. We got to see a lot of the Rhine River, and then it was time to fly home. And that was my Rhine River Cruise in 2013 aboard the Avalon Felicity. I'm Paul Packish, and this has been Hot Chocolate with Paul. Have a good day.